Hey guys, it's Tinman, we're going live. Join in if you would like to. If you don't like to, don't join in. If you're watching this after live time, then jump through my subjects a little bit and see if there's one that interests you. Hopefully maybe a number of them interest you, but don't pass me up. You know, there's lots of different subjects that go on because of the people who partake in the live, and also just different questions that come to me and different experiences that come to me. So, as you can probably get from the title of this one, that which I should have wrote it down so I know exactly, although I could look it up there. But anyways, it has to do with kind of the way inexperienced people question. I don't know what kind of interactions you've had where you get a pretty skeptical person and their questions are just naive, silly questions, and it's more about they're actually picking at your brain than picking at the skills that you're and the signs and the markings and the description of what you've seen in the bush, and thoughts behind broken trees, and your thoughts behind structures and shelters and great big gyms and jungle gyms and all kinds of different things. When you talk to these people, they just they haven't, you know, that's why I look forward to really getting to talk to a guy like a David Suzuki. I kid you not. Thanks for the thumbs up, guys. And that is because he is going to, his mind, you just know it for a fact. Look at other really smart minds, but look at David Suzuki and how he articulates himself and stuff like that. He is just a regular guy that happens to be a genius and happens to have a lot of memories in his head that he can pull out just like that. So this is why I look forward to him, is because a lot of the stuff I'm saying here is you guys got to continue studying. The stuff, when I say it to him, he's going to be going, yeah, there has been talk about that in the science world. Yes, there has been talk about that. He's going to be understanding these things in different lights in my sentence. I'm trying to get you guys to study more about what I'm saying in my sentence so you yourself can realize the true facts here. And I'm getting subbers and different people who come around and kind of get that. Well, when I'm standing out here and I, you know, because sometimes people say, well, don't talk to the people that are so, you know, against the thought or something. Well, there's some people out there that deserve maybe more than that, and so I give them those opportunities, or I will, and I can maybe continue, and sometimes I might even do it too much. That's all me. But I hung out with somebody yesterday that I hadn't seen for face to face, like talking to each other. I'm just going to throw out the number 10 years. And it was for reasons that we actually haven't even hung out and stuff. It was actual on purpose. And yesterday I'm sitting at a place doing just checking out some YouTube stuff. And nobody else in the parking lot. You guys know where it is, over at the info center there in the upper parking lot. I sit there. And I'm using the Wi-Fi and stuff. And a vehicle pulls right up by my window like that, where they're, just say this is the window of my car right there, where they pulled up their truck, pretty much pointing the front of the truck right at my window when this parking lot's empty, and then went for a back in to a spot. Well, I'm seeing this with my peripheral, and then I just look to see the actual distance of how far the car is. I make the make of the vehicle, and I go, that's either Buddy from 10 years ago, or just some idiot who's trying to cause problems. Seriously, it was like a thought like that. And it was Buddy from 10 years ago. He was just pulling there, and then he pulled up. He wanted to be just nice and close, and that's how he chose to do it. So then I phoned Buddy, last winter when I was broken down in a little town. Remember, I had that white car. You people have been around for a while. I had that little white car, Dodge Shadow, and I was up in that little town where I went to see my. I don't know if I've told you guys too much that because I didn't go the best, right? I went to see my oldest brother. I have another older brother in between, like he's 2 years older than me, but he's deceased. Anyways, so I went to see my oldest brother. Didn't go the greatest. So then I thought, well, my deceased brother is deceased. I've already gone and seen his kids. The kind of the group that hey, Victory, Leo. The group that I wanted to hook up with or whatever. And so I I went up there and seen him. And also I did a pre-trip to Prince George, which you guys would be able to find in there, me talking about it, where I went to see my deceased brother's 2 daughters up there, grandson and stuff. Grandson, yeah, some of my great nephew. No, my just regular nephew? Because my brother's kid? Yeah, just my regular nephew. No, because my brother's daughter's kid. Yeah, it's a great nephew. Nephews, I should say. Better get that straight. So anyways, after Prince George, I went to see my brother over in his little town. And it didn't work out, so I gave this buddy here a call from that day. And I told him straight up all my experiences and stuff like that. You got to realize how heavy that is to anybody. Hardcore believers would probably really get into it to some extent, but at that time there, I had quite a bit of traveling where I had lots of stories. I had hundreds of stories already. Like this was, I'm going to say, right a year ago. I'm going to say it was. No, maybe it was. Might have been April or something. But anyways, so, and hopefully you're hearing me well. Is everybody hearing me well? Because I'm doing a different mic system. Hey, Hiker Dave. How do you say that? Okay, so I'm only saying. Do you ever have anybody get that mixed up? Good morning from down under. How's it going? The Australian down under, I'm thinking. Unless they refer to that as the only down under. So is Mike sound cool, guys? Where was I there? Bad? Bad on the mic? Maybe we should try adjusting it. Where do I got it? Oh, it's because I fell down my damn shirt. I'm sorry, guys. It's way down here. So I'm going to plug this in. Dang. Are you guys hearing me at all? Damn it. People will listen for those 3 minutes. 8 minutes. Oh, damn. Oh, well. Oh, well. Yeah, strange. What it was doing is it kept on slipping down my shirt. So you guys got to hear my belly roars and stuff. That's what was going on, man. Oh, right on. Right on. They can hear me clearly now. So those stories I was saying, I'm sure you couldn't hear them much anyways, right? So belly laugh, yeah. So anyways, the title, let's just jump back into that, seeing as though the beginning of this video is flopped. I almost feel like just tuning off and tuning back, but then I got 6 people now and I'll lose them. So let me just get back into that. The believing of the other people, how they express themselves and stuff like that, it's really tough to deal with when you have such ignorant people that talk to you like you're some kind of a goofball or you're a knob when you're talking. What maybe those people have to realize that when a wheelchair guy kind of comes up to them in line and stuff, Would you talk, and you figure, you're not really getting a proper connection with that guy, would you talk to him about his business like he's an idiot? If a Down syndrome person came walking up to you and stuff, would you at all do a recognition kind of thing all about that to put them in their place and then talk to them or whatever? Or would you ignore them and walk away because you're too shy or scared or you don't know how to deal with people? That's what's happening here, guys. It's like you're walking up to somebody that you have such a bump about, such a disagreement about, such issues about. You don't know how to deal with it. Learn how to deal properly with your own emotions and stuff. And then you'll be able to deal with an intense subject matter. Some guys don't have it too intense, some guys and girls. Some kids don't have it too intense, but there are kids out there who have it super intense, and there's some adults out there who have it super intense. There's dogs and all kinds of other animals that have it super intense, but we're just looking for the human stories about the super intense stories that are out there. And I'm telling you right now, if you haven't ever heard from me, I have very intense stories. I have a lot going on. I was telling something at the beginning of this video, the first 8 minutes, but it's just basically rubbed off there, and my mic got screwed up there. It's complications. The hum is coming back. So you know what it is? I think this headphone is toast, too. I think that's the issue, is I've been a little bit rough on my headphone and it's become toast, so... I'm not going to make it a big one then. I'm going to just kind of make it about what it was here and stuff. Based on this subject matter, I do want to get more into the subject matter to try to do a shout out to ignorant Bigfooters. And if we go and look up the word ignorant, we'll understand what ignorant means. But if we just are ignorant and we're insulted by the word ignorant, then you're already defining whether it makes sense to watch the video or not that I'm going to put out there, because, sometimes we got to be smacked in a way. It doesn't mean you smack for pain. It doesn't mean you are really physically hitting somebody or whatever. Sometimes it's a snap in front of somebody's attention span just to wake up. Are you listening to me? But no, you're hurting my feelings for saying those kind of words to me and stuff like that. Remember, we've been going through that world. We, the Bigfooters, are walking around with Bigfooters, and I have pussies talking to me. And I have to learn how to deal with these guys. And, yeah, I ain't from that. I didn't teach my boys to be wusses. So... Are they the toughest guys in the world? No. They do as much training as they want. They're training and being physical as they want to be, and that's all cool and stuff. But I tell you, they know how to turn on their own ammunition of, okay, I gotta pull myself together, be a Green Beret right now, and make it home, because it's 3 o'clock in the morning, I don't know where I am, and blah, 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 whatever. They're not the type that will go crawl up in a ditch. They'd try to figure out a couple of safe ways to do it. Back in my day of doing that kind of stuff, I'd just hoof it out of there myself. I'm talking about a wild experience of some sort. They're young guys. They got their life in front of them, and we've gone through a generation of making a lot of wimpy people and being okay with it, because we had to go through this thing of accepting all this other, that new alphabet we have with about 8 letters or something. Because we had to go through all that, some kind of weird training for that. A lot of our tough boys got mixed up in this MMA stuff, and they don't necessarily have the proper attitude training in MMA. I don't have a problem with MMA. I have the problem with the attitude in MMA. And I've grown up in my time where there was a number of karate type guys around, and where things were going down, where they were, somebody was giving them a hard time because they thought they could lick them somehow in a fight or whatever type thing, that those guys always gave them plenty of space to back out. And if they didn't back down and kept getting aggressive, that's when the guy would use his technique to chill the guy out however he had to. I once, with one of my buddies, walking outside of a bar, and we weren't really drinking or anything like that. It was like an important day the next day, so we were just hanging out. And we went down to, I think it's called Kit's Pub or something like that down in Vancouver there. It was many, many years ago, and we're walking out. And there was about 5 guys there that wanted to give us a little bit of a hard time, us 3 guys. Me and one buddy just stood back and just stood there, while our buddy, who had come from Singapore, had to do a certain amount of military stuff that was from day one. Athletic training and swimming, athletic training and martial arts, bodybuilder, all that kind of stuff. His mom made him do a lot of stuff. He's standing there or whatever, and all he did was slap these guys, 5 of them, and gave them all a slapping that they were so embarrassed that they had to just walk away. They just know they're going to get bitch slapped if he turns around and turns those into feet and his fists. And those are the men that gave me experiences. You know, it's not like I had lots of experiences in that level. But at that level there, I'm going, okay, this buddy never leaves my side. You know, sort of thing like that, right? But, so the people out there who suck on trying to ask questions and be legitimate to us Bigfooters, start showing some respect, start realizing that, no, there is not, 500 million stories out there now, 1 million stories out there now, and they're all lies. It's not going on, people. So start coming up with sophisticated, smart, understand questions, so you're actually able to retain the question, the answer. Don't say a smart-ass kind of question. Like if you said to me, well, that one that you proclaim to be the one that really give you the messages of the image you were growing up with Sasquatch understanding. If you've seen a Sasquatch cartoon on TV or something, he would be that kind of almost like a gorilla type looking being with that certain amount looking here and a mouth here and stuff, and just big like that. Sasquatch. Well, I've had plenty of other kind of guys that I've seen before this guy. And that guy I didn't get to see until, I don't know, let's say 9 months into my whole escapade here in the last year and a half. And that's when I have him on picture and stuff. And that's when I went, a Sasquatch, type thing like this. And people might kind of get that story and stuff. But when I turn around and I add to that story that I believe he is doing this, either somebody else is, or he's doing it like this with his finger just here in front of his nose, or in front of his face like that, maybe on the lip, maybe here, somewhere here, then it's going to make half of those people start to space off. And instead of at all, nobody on this particular video that he even comes up on and stuff, and I've talked about it, nobody challenges trying to talk to me about the different things of spectacles, of eyewear or whatever. Nobody's trying to understand that information and stuff, and people don't want me to go anywhere and stuff like that. So that's part of my complaint. First part of, I guess, my complaint is you people out there who speculate so much and can't step on the threshold of the bush in your mind to just give these different people out here that are really walking and making trails, you can't give them a little bit of respect, then shut up, or else just try to step off trail a little bit in your question. Like, well, what's it like when you go in the bush? And the guy will tell you, I'm this tough. I'm only a roadside driver. I'm a guy who'll walk in 50 feet. I'm a guy that will walk all the way through the forest where all the big guys are, like Colorado. So different guys, different safety, different things, different knowledge, different pushes, different things. I say I got a huge package. Sorry
Sorry, my mind went bad there. I'm sorry, and I swear I didn't say that on purpose. That's just stupid. I'll clear my mind up. I said I have a great pile of information on these guys. I got tons of stuff you guys haven't even seen on my videos that I know are in my videos and you guys aren't seeing, but if you sat beside me, you would see it. You guys are too good, so many of you. You've been out there walking and stuff, so your imagination and so much of this stuff is already there. That far in the bush, you're not on any kind of a doorstep or anything. All these beginners I'm talking to are on the doorstep. So the guys who are in the bush and don't have the balls to say, hey, I learned a little bit of information off of this guy, I learned a little bit of information off of this guy, not praising the situation that we're in, then you think you are a king. Somebody came on there recently and said something about, try being modest, you're whatever, I can't have any faith in you and stuff. And it's like, tell me where I said I'm the greatest. I ain't saying I'm the greatest. Did Wayne Gretzky ever say he was the greatest? No, but a lot of us did. He knows the name about him. He probably questioned it with other players he would see sometimes. In his soul of souls, he probably knows someday somebody's going to be out doing his records and stuff. That's a man who doesn't know he's the greatest for that time period or whatever. Look at McGregor, if you're a fighter type thing like this or whatever. All what people aren't understanding with that thing is, if you know that at all, is in part his culture. He's an Irish bloke that this other guy from a different culture and so on and so forth insulted his buddy from the same culture. But this culture isn't putting up with that culture, doing that kind of stuff. So when he got there, he blew his lid. His Irish temper took a hold of him. He did stupidest mistakes, should be penalized, all that kind of stuff. But guess what? We get to analyze it and stuff like that. I might be wrong with some of my observations there, but part of it is true. Part of it is I have Irish blood in me also. Irish blood, I'll probably have some kind of Irish blood, but I have Irish background in me also. But anyways, so what I'm saying is, look at the people who are higher and be okay with it. Look at Colorado Bigfoot and realize you guys don't go as deep as that guy. Don't whoever's doing this stuff, don't challenge him on any of that kind of crap. Enjoy that he's dedicating all this time and hope he makes money. Go back and look at his history of what he's done, and now go look at all these other guys that are doing the same thing before him and since him and stuff. I'm in the category of being one of these guys. I have my own specific subject so much of the time, and I know it's hard for people to handle, but I see what I see, and if you walked beside me, you would get to see what you get to see. That was what part of this was about too, is I want to remind people I'm not bullshitting. If there's somebody just in Seattle, say for an example, you wanted to just come across the line for 2 days, a day, a half an hour, whatever, come on over. If you come over for 2 days, I ain't spending 48 hours with you. We'll hook up a few times in that time. You're going to get whatever off of the first time maybe and go, that's enough, man. Tell me where to go in the mountain where you think is interesting and I'll head that way. And maybe that's a transformation that you make right at that moment. Or you come up here and you're a pensioner and you come up here for those couple of days and you ended up deciding to find a place where you can camp full time and you hook up with me once a week. Whatever kind of thing, right? I'm that guy right now. I don't think I'll ever become super busy, but the more that I push to try to get healthy, I would imagine I might get a certain amount of healthy, and I might decide to travel. I might decide that driving across Canada isn't going to be that out of comfort for me and stuff like that. So, first 8 minutes of this video is smashed, ruined, I guess. The rest of it is real subject matter. So trust me on that. And whoever is trusting me on, there's a Sasquatch standing there going like that, it's within 8 seconds of a video. I'm going to put that video below here when this is loaded up here. So I can't remember what it's called right now, but I'll go grab it. And within the first seconds, I start the video. I'm going like this. I'm scanning like this. And within a 2-second clip, you get to see them where the camera is just going across them like that type thing. And then they go to the camera. So they are in there for 2 seconds or something like that. Once you image them and understand what's going on with all this fingers and stuff, like this one, I'm going to give you a perfect detail here. Where's the camera lens? Right there. So if I go like this, you see how I'm making kind of a cross there. If I do this, it's a little bit more of a zigzag. If I do it like this, the zigzag becomes weird and stuff like that. That's what's going on there. So when you're looking at what I'm saying the Sasquatch had, some people see the glasses first, the fake glasses, the stick glasses. Some people say the Sasquatch had first. Different things. I don't know if any of the people who's standing beside me has ever agreed that this has been a finger, but those who end up getting a really clear visual connection on it or whatever, you connect this thing really well with these ones down here. Now, these ones down here, you get to see these ones really clear. And then you might get to see a little less shady, dark ones, like bright, like my white fingers type bright, like they might become darker like that or something, okay? And up in here, you almost get to see something going on too and stuff, and you pay attention to those kind of things because you need it out in the bush. You're going to start realizing different cultures, different foolings that they're using. So, and I think that culture of this in particular one, however, they do it in different ways and with sticks at times and stuff like that. If it's not already world spread, it will world spread because it's really good. It really is a good camouflage for them. So anyways, I'm not ignoring you guys. I'm going to come to all you guys are hanging out there, but I just want to get through sort of my thing here. So that Sasquatch then in the glasses, you can on the one, you can look on the other side of the smaller tree there and you see stuff going on. You get to see an angle of glasses like that. They're not like straight onto the camera on the other side of the tree. Here you get to see that kind of stuff. Back in the bush right there, you get to see plenty of this kind of look. Plenty of this kind of look where you're going to be going, well, whatever look we think we're seeing here between these two trees that Tinman is claiming are Sasquatch. Back in that bush there, I see a lot more of that stuff. So maybe it is just some kind of weird stick that does that thing. Be with that. Be happy with that. I'm happy with my answer. And then I go on to further that answer within that video, just another few seconds or something. I can't remember exactly, but there ends up being a tree and I come to kind of a thing and it's only in a split second you get to see two other guys there. And I almost have to be in editing to be able to get the best picture on that. You know, so because editing really takes it down to a smaller format. So hopefully that was helpful to people. I got some thumbs up on that, all that going on. So whoever's there, so whoever's just popped on, realize that there was a reason why they gave me the thumbs up, and I'm going to come in and join the chat here, and holy to doodle, nice. Jump back here and see what's going on. Thanks, guys. First 8 minutes of this video sucks. Maybe. Listen in. It was a good subject, but good to hear you, Tinman. Thank you. Good morning from down under, right on. That hum is gone. Strange. Oh, say, yeah, the sound, feedback sound, yeah, that's gone now. Nobody was kind of, I'll take out that because I might be yelling because of that. That muffles my sound in such a way that I guess I'm not yelling. But that's the hyperacusis part. It gives me an amplified feeling back. And when I'm excited and I'm yakking to people and stuff like that, that's why I like being medicated if people have an issue with it. That's better. Now we can hear you clearly, Ian. Your voice is such a lovely sound. Why, thanks, guys. You realize, oh, actually, I think they do put these on the computer page now where people can actually look at the chat stuff. Does anybody look at the chat stuff? If you do and you're going to say yes, you have to answer it kind of that way because I'm way behind in this way. I never look at any chat content that I've been on my videos. No, or anybody's videos. Does it come up? I guess, oh yeah, that's only on my video then. It doesn't come up for your guys' video, I'm thinking maybe. That's much louder now. Okay, here we go. Can I ask you what you see with your naked eye when Sasquatch is in front of you and visible? Generally, what I see is something dark. When I can sit here and I can say I've seen him so many times. What I can say awesomely 100% to you is I have them on video, where 2 videos where I'm relating with them with my visual into my LCD screen here, and I'm relating with them with my eyes looking at them and making them out. One closer, I could see it better, I could recall, and the other one I could make out that he was there. I think I could this is really a memory, but I think I was kind of I was making out the shape that I was also making out that I could tell was his head in the screen. So I could tell this was a head and so on, and I instantly see him. I couple of times, or at least one time, cross over him and stuff. He's my baboon guy. I cross over him a couple of times, but when I'm describing this blackness near his base, which is probably his feet or other little squatches or something hanging out there, when I'm seeing that blackness is when I kind of but that's nothing, and then I come to here now, all of a sudden my head there is it, and I come like that with my camera, and I go, nope, I'm wrong. So as soon as you're seeing that sweep, that part of the screen, because not everybody can see that baboon. He is special. He's super hard to see. But I kid you not, probably 90% of the people who sit next to me, they're picking up of something. People who have some skill in it a little bit. Like I showed one lady from Africa one time. We became friends also and such. Sam. And, it's quick. On that video, I just let her watch the video. And as I went like that, she goes, uh-huh. And she was right into it or whatever. She was seeing it. She grew up in Africa. She had grown up in areas where their alertness had to be about not about snakes and stuff so much, but also leopards and whatever, lions and stuff like that. Elephants even and stuff. So you kind of get an idea of maybe where she grew up with her awareness. And she nailed it right from the very beginning. So that was a year ago. And that's my baboon video if anybody's interested in seeing that one. So I see in those ones very closely to what I seen on the 2 videos. My first one is called My First Face-to-Face Experience, 100% proof, your money back sort of thing. But without my camera, the thought would be gone from my head. I'll tell you that much. Like, is that just me on, it's like if I seen somebody in a store today and I studied their face really hard and then tried to keep remembering for a year and a half what his face looked like different times. That same balance as that, it would just start to dissipate away. So I'm so glad that I got them on this thing, because it helps me be stronger and have no shame in it, different things like that. So anyways, I kind of see what I see in those guys. And on my other experience that I have, where I call it 100%, it's just a vocalization. So it's based off of the sounds, it's based off of thrashing of trees and stuff. And that one's called something like vocal, Bigfoot maybe, vocal threatens and threaten attack and different things like this. So hopefully that helps you out. I'm curious what your communication process is with Sasquatch. Oh, okay, well, you go watch some of my videos there. You're going to see stuff straight up what I've done in the moment, talking to them. The gray baboon guy. Him, I don't do I think if I'm recalling right, a full out kind of, hey buddy, thanks for being here and stuff like that. It was always in a question mark. I even do this thing and I'm just faking it out, so realize I'm faking out this part with them where I go, okay, well, I guess I'm not seeing any or much here and stuff like that. I swear, man, I came to the spot where I just recalled this. I recalled it just the other day watching the video. And when I was saying it, my body went through this really weird feeling. I was just all of a sudden like, and I didn't know if it was, like you think somebody's coming closer or they're getting angry or anything like that. So that was my defense mechanism to chill the air. I went, okay, take the camera off of them, dude. And I was going to shut it down. When that was where my full out thing, okay, enough is enough or whatever type thing. Start turning my camera around and I go, no, I'm just going to keep it going and give them a break. I kind of turn back this way. We come back this way. Guy never ran away. Never runs away. Never left. But he does duck. He does do other movement than ducking. He has a hand on top, his right hand, this side you'll see, and his right hand on top of his head, faking us out to be a leaf maybe or something. It confused me at first when I was originally watching it at home. I thought it was a baby. So that's where the confusion it had to go with me. But then because you get to keep analyzing it, and I put a couple of good hours into that video at least, I've come up with a number of different things. So, and I'm working towards getting, I'm not the greatest computer person, so I'm really working towards bringing this stuff fully to you guys eventually, where you will be able to see all my stuff that I've been talking about from this point forward. All my best stuff first. So when I get that money that says that I can put a technician type guy doing it how I want to do it right here, then that's in part what will happen. And I will not fail people. I will still get the certain amount of people going, oh, bullshit. But people do that about Patty. And I've always just believed Patty was real. I remember as a kid seeing that thing. I knew it was real. I didn't ever not question that was a Sasquatch, but I never took it further than that point of, I've done tons of mountain climbing around here as a kid with families. My dad got both of his knees torn out when we were doing waterfall climbing and stuff like that. He did a crazy jump in his 40s or whatever, he's with all the young guys doing stupid stuff, so he's doing his parkour, and he did a jump, and I was only like 8 years old. Yeah, at that time. So, been out there, been doing it, and that was, a long ways up, and we had to get him all the way down to the bottom where we had a couple of canoes, and we got him all the way down to the bottom, and then into the canoes, back to the house up at Cultus Lake. Or no, that was when we were living, no, not up at Cultus Lake, that's when we were living in Surrey, and he even still goes home. He goes home, goes to bed, and I think that night he did a turn or something and did some major, I think that was the time when both times he tore his knees out, he still went home and had to end up having an ambulance or something like that come get him. So that's my pa and his craziness. So, are you an ex-military? No, I'm kind of, my dad almost was in part. His mom was probably almost like an ex-military, like old-time grandmother farmer type thing. His mother had to start training to be a house, the farmer house lady or whatever you call it. Her mom died when she was 9. So she started when she was 9 being trained. She had to drop out of school and stuff and start just helping in the farm. Like her 4 brothers worked out on the farm. Her dad worked on the farm. She started doing stuff. She would always go with her aunts. Her aunts would come over, and it was just that kind of stuff. By the time she was like 13 years old, she was running the whole show, doing big feeds. And then, back in those days when they had the huge feeds they'd come to do, and, when they'd do the whatever swathing and all, take everything down and stuff. Point is, you kind of see what her life was like, and it would have been really strict regiment. She did that with my dad. But then when my dad, had kids, he had way busier of a life to have that strict of a regiment, thank goodness. But still had a super strict regiment. But because of where he came from, it was like, get out in the frickin' trees and climb them. Go swim in the creek. Don't drown. Don't do stupid things, such like that. But I got my first pocket knife folding pocket knife when I was about, I have it in my collection still. I ended up getting it back. It got taken away from me. But I got it when I was probably about, I don't know, 7 years old or 8 years old or something. Ended up having it taken away from me. I think it was in grade 7 or 6. I'm going to say 7, but it might have been grade 6. Ended up having it taken away from me. And it was, goes to show, I've told this before, it's a little bit crazy. But I played a practical joke on a guy where I jumped when he was riding by in the bush and all this kind of stuff. And at the end of the day, he wasn't close enough of a friend to be able to make it that funny of a joke and stuff. So you can kind of imagine how the story went there. It didn't make me look too good. And I was really joking and stuff like that. So I lost the knife for a couple of years. And then here I sit today. So my grandmother had a really strict regimen with Dad. Dad, like with us, with a lot of stuff, and tough encouragement to do stuff. Hey, Mara, how's it going? Sorry for saying hi so loud. Okay, Brown Dwarf, hello. Who else is out here? I'm only saying is still around, maybe. Bigfoot Forest, hello. Firstborn, nice to see you, Firstborn. Hope you guys are still around. D. Stewart. Right on, lots of people. Luck of the Irish. What up, Peter? Nice. Great turnout, man. So like I was saying, I think I did hit some interesting stuff because the first part of this video, people were hitting me with some, I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom. Some people were hitting me with some thumbs up and stuff. So I think after 8 minutes, guys, I hit some pretty good subject there. Maybe check it out. It's really encouragement in a way, you know, for people to start trying to be smarter with us. Start to challenge us more instead of, you know, oh yeah, and how big was he? Did he have a lot of hair on him? Oh, his beard was probably like yours, eh, Tinman? You know, we don't need that kind of talk anymore. What's what, Ian? Bigfoot in Memphis, how's it going, brother? Were you here earlier? Shout out to you, bro. Thank you for answering the communication process question. You're welcome. Good, I'm glad that helped you. Like I seen reflective real what I'm seeing here. And my first face-to-face, guys, I don't see, like it really could. When people connect with it and watch it from the, especially from, at 2 minutes, I get the best focus. But I'm there for a lot longer than 2 minutes. But from 2 minutes till the 45 seconds or the 30 seconds when I start to thank them for leaving, I'm seeing them as this process that I'm realizing, hey, they're backing out of there or whatever type thing. And they were gone. There was none of, because one thing about, if I think that there's any magical, what do we call that word when people just, when they're just fading into the environment or disappearing or whatever type thing, people say that. If that would be a process, you would think it would be from the center out or from the out, or a completely all is one, almost like on Star Trek, just and all, you know, and you kind of dissipate or whatever and you're gone. But that doesn't happen with this. You can see it fade by, you know, if you know how we do, you know, things just like look lighter as they're trailing with us or whatever. So there is a fading out going on, but to me all I see is a moving back off into the book back. And as I, because I'm able to pick this up really well, as I'm doing that and seeing that's what's happening, I'm also looking for those solid objects, parts that I've been studying. So there's this little guy that's right there. And I'm also trying to always study these other parts around them. I believe there's a hand here. I believe there's a head down here. I believe there's a head up here in this region. I believe there's some other action that when this fade off is happening here, you still get to see them as the dense blackness through a couple of windows, natural windows of the forest there. Of the guys. And while that happens, I also believe I'm seeing where they've come to the realization, okay, his full attention is on us. He's not worrying about Billy hanging out down here, because Billy's hanging out here, and there's a couple of Johnny and, his brother Robert and his other brother Robert over on this one here, and they don't bother taking off right away. I go into my, whatever, thank you and stuff, and then I just give them their space and stuff, go home, and that's when I can pick up on these. And I've had many other guys picking up on these. Are we going to be right or wrong about these? Who knows? But I say I'm right. I believe in that whole first face-to-face thing. I wouldn't doubt it if we could fully someday come up with a proper technology that will be able to go into my memory of this card and pull up a heat substance or whatever type thing and actually do a full breakdown and pull all the plants out of there and stuff. I wouldn't doubt it if we could maybe go from anywheres from 15 to 30 critters in that area there. And also look at that in particular video, my first face-to-face, on BD, Bigfoot, BA, Bigfoot Anthropologist. And that video is on there, and that guy should be starting to blow up out of the water, but it looks like YouTube will keep him held down or whatever. So where are we? So I'm just going to pick out of the hat here, okay guys? Hey Mark. My name's not Mark. Who's calling me Mark? Brown, you still here? I came in late, and I hear you, brother. I just got in. Hey Mark, to Bigfoot Memphis. What's up in a pit? Or, what's up? I pit up. Yo, you put up 3 videos? Videos today from... Oh, okay. Some new areas, okay. Dude, I lost you. Yeah, I know. It's doing a little bit cutting out here, guys. I apologize for that. Are you saying that they blend back into... I'm going to catch up. Blend back into the background? Yeah, what they do is they actually just move into the background. Blending then. Yeah, blending in that way. I keep getting an understanding that some people think in some way they're able to do almost like the Star Trek thing, where beam me up, Scotty, and then all of a sudden the guy is appearing there and he becomes like a whole human again. That's what I believe. Some people get some kind of an impression like that. I don't get that impression. I'm trying to confirm it by these couple of ones that I have on camera, that they don't give me the impression at all, even in the camera work. So that's what I'm stating with that one. And the baboon guy, that guy sticks around the whole time. I give up on him. I end up leaving from him. And I probably have him on video. I have him on 2 different cameras. And I'm going to say I probably have him on video of, I don't know, minimum 8 minutes. Something like that. Dude, you lost me. Yeah, I'm doing that kind of stuff. Laugh out loud, Ian. I am out smoking something stronger than... Yeah. Am I doing that? No, man, joking, kinda. You're Mark. Yeah, I know you're Mark. I have been told... I don't always remember your name, but last time I called you Mark, but I thought I was talking to somebody else, and when you responded, that's when I realized, oh yeah, that's right, your name's Mark too. That was on that other chat thing. I have been told by spirits that color is just a cover for sight. When you explain what Sasquatch do to hide again, it helps me understand what happens. So you like it when I kind of explain that kind of stuff? Well, if you watch my first face-to-face then, and when I started, and it's my first face-to-face or your money back, guaranteed your money back, something like that. When you're watching that video and I start to speak is when I decide I know 100% that somebody's there, I'm making some talk. I remember at that moment being pretty terrified almost on some levels, but I know I was at my... if somebody would have went boop, maybe it would have been a different result for me. I might have just started peeing myself or something. I remember at that time just knowing that I'm throwing out some words in a way to try to make kind of almost like what I do in the baboon guy, only 6 days later. I don't know if you realize that, but that's only 6 days later. There's other interaction in between these two guys. And this is a family, and that's a family, and I can't even kind of almost relate the family, but we're only apart on the property here about, I don't know, I'm gonna say 300 to 500 feet apart from each other. My first experience, I'm in my what I call the Valley of the Sasquatch, and my other one is kind of on the cusp. Sorry about all my spitting, but kind of on the cusp of the Valley of the Sasquatch and their nesting station up there. So just to give people who have been following along with me. So yeah, 9 different points in between. I was saying about that first face-to-face, you got lots of stuff to relate with. You just got to get into it. Do that kind of a zoom that isn't breaking down the pixelation. Do the zoom that's bringing the picture kind of forward well, so you don't do much of a breakdown of the pixelation and then do some zooming in and stuff. And recently I just put up, I kid you not, guys, go and just look at it. There's more going on there, but I just pushing you guys on the hand. And what you get to see is you actually get to see a hand on a log. And you get to see this hand. It's a gray hand. This finger is way sticking out more like that and controlled, not where somebody's having to push it like that. I think these fingers are somehow in some kind of a bendish mode here, or I might be getting it mixed up. So either this finger is slightly bending out also, where you almost kind of feel like you get to see the tip of it sometimes. Remember, this one's shooting way off. Or it's this one. I think it's this one. So I think we're going to be kind of like this. And then the thumb, I almost have a feeling that it might just be laying on the log also like this. So we got a log going on like this, right? And you got something like this. And I think in my editor, I think I can see a little bit of movement out of like a finger movement being like that, where what you guys have to realize is they're going to be doing a certain amount of information just testing. Is he seeing me? Is he seeing me? So if you can fool them and you feel that strong that one's there, and all of a sudden you see sharp movement and stuff, try not to look at the sharp movement. Try to just continue doing your thing. Try to just figure out, okay, that part sharp movement was over there by that tree. I can see that. I can see that tree right over here. There's a tree right there. I can see that sharp movement was around at the base. So I'm sitting there looking all around here and stuff. Do a crossover. Do a slower crossover. Do a more intense crossover. Do stuff like that to try to fool them, because that's all they're doing is hiding on you. So you're playing hide and seek with these guys, go into the old games. I used to play hide and seek a lot. Wonder if this has anything to do with that. Ever play war games and stuff where, paintball games? In our day, we used to call them that, right? And you would just see a guy's foot or something, and he's not realize he's hiding or whatever, and you would be aiming for picking off his foot. Stuff like that, a hand where a guy's just sticking a hand out or something like that, and you have to pick off his hand, where you're playing out there in the bush, and you've studied and thought, and you remember what the other team is wearing and stuff, and you have all this stuff. All of a sudden you're being able to find these guys well. Same idea. Because ones will hide as close as guys in paintballs games would hide. In our visualness, they're going to be hiding that close to you at times, right? And then size is going to be a variance in it and stuff. I think a lot of the scouting out that happens by the small guys. What kind of animals can we look at where we kind of know that rats do this thing where the mothers and fathers will send the kids out. They'll come over to a spot, they'll send the kids out to go over and check that out for food and stuff. And that's why we catch lots of young rats sometimes, and you don't catch the big ones. But there's ways of tricking those big ones. So that's what we're doing. There could be a way that these are the young ones. They're that far along from young age or small age, whatever's going on, that they're able to they're very reliable for being scouts. They come and scout us out and stuff. I swear, where I'm sitting here, a number of times, I have forest stuff going on all right out there. Lots of forest stuff. Maybe you want me to show you? And this forest is all connected. So see behind the Tim Hortons there and all that stuff? I live in Mission, British Columbia here. If you came and checked that out, Googled it, that is all connected by lots of culvert work and lots of different valleys and connections throughout here in Mission, British Columbia. It hooks up to my Popo clan. It hooks up to my Rams clan. I bet you if I went into that for sure, I could get all the way over to my Rams clan. Not the Waterfall clan because they're on the other side of the Big Fraser River here, but doesn't mean it's not connected to them. That's what we got to realize. There's nighttime connections maybe, or really sleek daytime connections, which I believe there's lots of daytime activity. Like there's tons of daytime activity. I've been involved way too many times, and you guys out there can vouch for this. Throw up by vouch. That means you guys are doing it too, right? Where you walk into the spot and you know they've just left. You know, I don't know if you guys try this, but I heat test things sometimes, like just with your own. We can feel heat and stuff. Go up to the tree and put your hand to the back of the tree and stuff. Like I've told you, if you haven't done this, I can relate with it really well. I would assume you guys might. I was talking about it with Buddy last night there. Go up and actually hug a tree, or maybe it wasn't him, it was a different guy. It was a different guy. Hug a tree and try not to touch much of the ground. Do it very in a relaxed situation where you just become relaxed with the tree and feel the lessness in vibration for doing that. And yeah, that's information. That helps you. Helps you understand stuff. There's some people out there right now thinking, well, you're hugging a Bigfoot, Tinman, or you're hugging a type of creature that's in the tree and stuff, and they come out at night and stuff. There's people who believe that kind of stuff. I'm not there with my kind of stuff. I'm there, as I tell you, in a physicalness where I see these physical guys that won't leave my sight, but they'll slide out of my sight. On the one day they slid out, 6 days later in this in particular time, they wouldn't slide out. The one that happened in between, they wouldn't slide out either. There was times where they changed up the picture many times, but I wasn't close to them, and that's I think it's called Surrounded by Bigfoot Beings or Sasquatch or something like that. It's going to be in one of my Tin Man favorite or my 100%. So I hope you guys are having a good conversation with each other while I'm doing my yakking on here and kind of ignoring you. So what do we got? Your details to image and movement is so cool. Oh, right on. I'm really glad you're sticking around, you're observing it, and it's getting through to, like, you're enjoying it, that kind of level getting through, you know, not like you still have to process it, you still have to figure out whatever you're willing to figure out in the field. And my history, look at my past, look at those videos and watch me continue on from here and stuff, and take me as modest as I can say that I don't understand why I'm doing this and got this style. But nobody's got this style. People have been questioning me for a long time on a lot of my different things, and I haven't given up on them. And some of the stuff will not become too relevant, maybe. But there's a lot of subjects I say out there. Say a creek on your property all of a sudden used to go off your property where it ended there and it flowed down there. It doesn't have to be your property. It has to be something you know. And last winter when you drove by, you knew that creek was coming down there and you remembered it flowing last winter and stuff. And then this year you're driving by and it's coming down a different spot. It's washing out different rock. It's doing whatever it's doing. Maybe you notice it because, hey, that's messy. Hey, that's cool. Whatever type thing. But, hey, I notice it's in a different spot. Do you really think that's that natural? Do you think our world's really doing so much shifting that we're really not aware of a whole bunch of shifting? It's not like people are constantly talking about stuff going around in any of our areas. Nobody's talking about this on our world, in our subject matter. could be more of a talk. But I'm talking about a lot of cracking. I've been proving a lot of cracking. Tomorrow I have a chance to go for a long drive, put up for a long drive. I can take my medicine, so I'm cool with that. Hang out with that old chum. And, you know, I don't want to rekindle that friendship based on our old friendship. Because what do? Start hanging out with somebody all the time. That's how dedicated I am. I don't want to do this. This guy's got oodles of money. He's a millionaire. But you know what? He shows me no respect on this subject. And you guys all know that if a person's not showing you respect on this subject, do what you feel that you need to do. Maybe you continue trying to hook and reel this person or whatever type thing. I don't have time for that. My story, I find, is too important to waste. I like people who connect with it right away. If there's a connector who connected with it right away and he wanted to some way do a little finance. I've had people who have sent me some money now, and it's greatly appreciated. That is in part a statement what they're doing as I spit at you. So, having said that, this guy, but he's driving past, and I'm not disrespecting the guy. He knows I say this right to his face. He knows that. But he's driving past, he's going up to Whistler. He's going up to Pemberton. He's going up to, go watch this video. And this is the main one that's popping out, and this is why I think I might end up having to do it. Is because there's a pedestrian bridge that's in Squamish. I even forgot that it was in Squamish. He even said that. I said, you know that blue bridge up there? Yeah, the one in Squamish. It's a pedestrian bridge. Comes across like this, right? He has to go up there for business beyond this bridge. Anyways, and he's also in construction, so he will be able to look at this stuff if he wants to get out of the truck and look at it. I don't care. But that pedestrian, it's because I've gone so dry in my mouth. Here, I got some water. So I'll get back onto it. I'm going to push a button here. I haven't seen much what you guys have been saying, but you know what? This is when I can go back now on my YouTube thing, and I think I'll be able to respond to you guys based on this stuff. So this is going to be interesting. It'll be a chance for, if I feel like I have passed up something too important for you guys, that it'll be bring it back into place. So I'm looking forward to that, okay? So let me just take a talking break, actually. And yeah, it's water. I've been getting smarter and, a little more brave with it, Out here in Canada, I don't know about you, but any of the stores, you can get you could ask for a couple of waters. You could ask for 3 or 4 waters that I got some friends in here, and they'll give you the 3 or 4 waters. It's filtered water. In Canada, just because it's Canadian water, I would still filter my water. If you feel like you're taking certain things out of it, then bring that into your diet. But I wouldn't say filtering your water up here in Canada is a bad idea at all, because there is, it helps with just lots of the different nutrients in there, right? So where was I again on there then? Did I go and forget that subject? Hey Jay, how's it going? So guys, you see Jay here who's just popped on. He's a buddy that's come out a couple of times now and kind of walked a couple of different little spots. And I think his world is turned upside down because of that. Well, not upside down, but I think he's walked through another door. What would you say there, Jay? Have you walked through another door or what? So Bigfoot Memphis is saying, I've been talking the Planet X phenomenon, yeah? Wolves can change rivers. Well, maybe you think, yeah, it's been proven and documented. I don't trust those people. Sorry to say that, and the reason is because why aren't they also telling me about Bigfoot? What I know I had come to observe, what I know with my own mind, is that other people could have been observing the same thing for a long time. I believe that there's a heaviness going on of it, though. So that's maybe what's helped me a bit. It's the language of the forest. Study the language of the forest. A storm happens. Go out there and try to understand the next day what's happened, or the next day. Go out there during the storm. You know, see if, you know, because after these so-called ice storms and stuff like that, the trees continue to keep falling in Canada. So when you talk about being medicated, you're talking about the mighty herb. Yes, I am. I missed you this weekend. Yeah, I hear you, Jay. What did you do? Did you go camping? And Jay's saying, yes, another world. So Jay is saying that walking with him took his Bigfoot really through a door. Like, it's helped him that much. It's helped him be that much more confident even in past experiences. And, you know, we do that as a whole. I'm not saying special Ian, but when we come together as a whole and we are really that type of person that's willing to be open-minded enough to say, okay, so you think somebody's hiding over there right now and he's got a finger like that, Tinman. Okay, I'll keep that in my thought too, while I'm sitting here looking and trying to process it. You don't go, well, fuck off, he doesn't have a finger at his mouth. Don't be so stupid. What's he going pee to? You know, we don't need those. We need the guy that would go, check and see if he's going pee too. You understand me? And that's what I do. Arkansas is now legal. Nice, with the medical stuff down there. Cool. We all have to have some type of natural medicine. Yeah, I hear you. Breathe in the, you know, going outside and getting a real fresh air instead of the stuff that was in your house. You go out there and you do that. You feel that, what that does, right, guys? We all know that. We got to encourage the people that are sitting there in front of their computer getting all these bad rays coming off of them to go over by the window there and pull the screen off if you can, and stick your head out for a few minutes if you can. Not everybody has the luxury, and I know that from some of my subs, that some of my subs don't have the luxury to even get outside, guys. They tell me that much of their story, that they're not even, you know, they're basically lucky if they have a good view from a window and stuff. So, you know, we got to realize, you know, who we're talking with. You know, respect to everybody. And interesting things. Cool. And good evening, Tinman. Hope you are well, my friend. I am. I would like you to do some more tree studies. Ah, cool. As in the way the manipulated trees and their markings. Sweet, I like that. And how they take care of the trees. Sweet, I will be doing that. I really am. You know, I'm just getting to that spot. I figure by the end of this month, you guys are probably going to get a couple of months of heavy Tinman. You know, where I can go and I can put out a number of videos this day and a number of videos this day and some long ones, some short ones and stuff like that. At the end of this month, I believe that's what where I'm directing myself to do. And yeah, I'm just I'll be planning to gear up a little bit of stuff to have that memory kind of card stuff to be able to do this, because that's one thing about me, is I do have some regrets on some memory cards of stuff that I sacrificed back in the day, where I knew I was kind of sacrificing stuff, but I needed this piece of space, because I'm planning on walking out of the car right now and I got nothing else to do memory on it. So not to say that was necessarily the best, but it's stuff now I would have also liked to. Like, I someday will be a 60-year-old man sitting behind my desk and going through hundreds of hours of stuff that from back in these days, maybe. Or it'll already be pre-taken care of. But like I've explained to you guys, that is all in my follow plans too. So whatever I was kind of answering there. Oh yes, I'm medicated every day. My own. Oh, nice. Your own out in Australia there, right on. And that's all in Australia, it's all legit and stuff. Like, you don't have much for worries or anything. Canada has the best air ever. Yeah, you feel so, eh? I don't know, people always say everything either blows up here, or if the world's flat, depending which way it's flat, it's blowing across here. What a smart ass, eh? So Jay is saying, you are the real deal in the middle of the frickin' Bigfoot paradise. Yeah, I don't know who's in the middle of it. I wouldn't want to be in the middle. I appreciate that though, Jay. I hear you. More Tinman videos of the forest custodian and their good works. Yes, forest custodian they are. Like I started calling them the woodsman of the forest. That was my first nickname. And then when I came across a native nickname that was caretakers of the land, something like that, caregivers of the land or something like that, that's when I realized a strong connection that, and this is from thousands of year old oral stories, that they had that conclusion. So I believe the native people in probably a big way probably did have relationships with these beings, as a lot of the old stories say. And now with a certain amount of the congregation, it's become a spiritual kind of understanding movement. And then with a certain other amount of them where they've actually had interactions like us and such, and just scrapes of knowledge and stuff like that, whatever yours might be. I think that those ones have had that kind of stuff, and it enlightens them a little bit more to maybe look into it a little bit more, because there's native people out there who have been reaching out to me that, you know, they have concerns of the knowledge. They want to know, are these the Bigfoot people that you're talking about? Are these a different being? They want to know certain things, and they're starting to follow along and realize that I'm talking about a huge amount of tree interaction, and so their curiosity bells are going off. What is the outcome of these interactions in another day? I talk about all these different interactions and stuff where there's huge defacing going on and stuff like that, and mountainside defacings, rebuildings, reshapings, stuff like that. I listened to one of those kind of genius guys who was speaking with Jordan Peterson the other day. And he's the type of guy that Jordan Peterson's here, and he's here, and you're almost like, I don't know if you have respect for Jordan Peterson trying to change the world right now, but he puts out a lot of good information for a mind to hover over and think about, right? And he's this good. Well, this guy seems this good. But anyways, so this guy, and it was a few days ago I read or watched it and stuff, and I don't remember the subject matter or anything. But anyways, I remember the guy, the more higher kind of genius kind of guy or whatever, talking about it. Sounds like he's got a beautiful spread and he's got this view of the mountain across the way from him. He says every day or every week, I can't remember, but I think it was every day, because they're talking about the unbelievableness of the world and stuff, something like this, right? He goes, every day I look out my window and I see the mountainside just changing before me. And I'm sitting there and I'm looking at him when he's saying this, and I'm going, I believe you. I believe that you have been registering that your mountain is changing a lot. But you don't understand the reason why. You think it is some kind of weird that the world's going do, 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 in every fraction of all these different mountains all over the place, because it wouldn't be just visual to us, you guys, around our towns all the time, and we think that it's not happening over the mountains. Whatever, if this is happening, all these trees, all these shifts, all these crackings, all these different things, where people believing that they're seeing a visual change of stuff, then it's happening all over your area. And then there's other people that would be able to calculate it and say, yeah, then it's doing it all over here. Well, that ain't a normal procedure. Put that into your mind to really understand that isn't a normal procedure to be going on. And I don't believe that it's happening over every mountain and stuff. I don't believe that. I, for a fact, would be more inclined to say my belief is there do a lot in the human's visual interaction. And why? That's because if you... when you're teaching your kid, and the kid is supposed to shut this door all the time, and you walk over to the door and your kid's down there. Kid's off in La La Land, but you can know the kid's maybe picking up on an ear kind of a level because you already did something to test them out. You snapped a finger and you notice that they heard your snap finger. And you go, oh, well, I better shut this door shut because that's safety. And you pull that door shut. You 100% just taught that kid in a way to do that without him easily not even looking at the door. You're using only vocal language. And you're putting a reference out in a way that he's not used to mum hearing or whatever type thing. And he's actually, doesn't mean he's going to do it every time. No, he's 4 years old for Pete's sakes. But that's your discipline on training, right? So you can probably understand my dad's discipline and my mum's discipline on training with me. That discipline on training is why I believe I have, 4 kids who behave pretty good a lot of the time. And why I believe I'm making so much information out there that I'm sharing with you guys. I got hurt a couple of, 4 or 5 years ago. I went through a whole bunch of stinking stuff of pain and stuff. I came to the spot where, man, life is just ugly how much I don't enjoy it. Saying that one night, the next day, one of my hobbies that I had been appreciating kind of a little bit more at this point, I had already put up a video on it, trying to figure out where this so-called Sasquatch in the back of Mission was found. And I actually did some discovery work, and I felt confident I found the location. And I've actually, in those days, did a walk out there. But then I became more hurt from this hearing test, and I went really off on this, and it was really bothering me a lot. And I got right out of my YouTube world. I came back into the YouTube world. So this was a little, whatever, I don't remember that shit. But anyways, a year and a half ago, I went to see, that was a Thursday night where I'm tired. The next day, if people believe in these kind of hookups with the energy of life, right? Let's just go with that. So I go to the doctor. I even tell him, man, I'm not doing well. I just hate all this crap and stuff like that. And, he's probably saying, hey, you want me to give you some morphine or something? And I end up just driving away from there. I'm driving down the road, and I'm realizing, because I would always practice this, where I made sure I didn't have much pot in my system and stuff as freshly that day when I was going to see the guy, so he couldn't complain if he picked up on it or whatever. He sometimes would say, you smell like pot and stuff like this. So I'd always try to be, because you don't know where these mental doctors go, right? So I leave from there. I'm driving too long with still not having a break. But I get way down there, a guy's tailgating me, man, and I'm not liking tailgaters, so I quickly just do this kind of abrupt pull-off. As I'm hopping out of my car, I spin one up, I hop out of my car, I'm going to do something different. I've been at this spot 3 different times. It's a beautiful, just wide trail, like a car width trail that goes back there. It was almost like it was grass planted in there, right? It was really beautiful. A couple of logging patches in there. Anyways, so I decided, as I've heard on YouTube, I'm going to not walk on our trail. I'm going to walk into the forest and start looking for their trails. That's what I did. I ended up walked into my motel jungle gym that grew into the Valley of the Sasquatch beside it, that grew into the nesting area beside it. It's all 15 to 20 acres. They're all about 5 acres to 7 acres big. Just like a piece of pie, you guys, being dropped on my lap right there in front of me. The first day I didn't have a camera. Didn't have my phone with me. I'd forgotten it at home. Anyway, so I'm walking around, probably thank goodness, because that day I had enough information that I decided, wow, like I'm seeing footprints. I can't remember now. I'd have to go back to my second day video, which I have second day videos. I have third day videos, fourth day videos, fifth day videos, blah, blah, blah videos. I had 21 days on there. I had my first interaction at 13 days. I had my second interaction in about 15 days. It's all verified on video, these 3 tapes. Have my third interaction on the 19th day. On about the 21st day, I point a camera to the thick of it, and I remember being scared in the heart, going, I have to, and I didn't even understand why I'm even saying it, because I remember the challenge of just hang out here, dude, or give up on them. But there was something saying, no, you have to. So I told you guys I have to search these guys out in the thick of that. And it was a little scary looking there. Next day or the next day, I'm heading to my spot. So 22nd, 23rd day, I'm heading to my spot. Get turned around. I know I've been repeating this story lately, but it needs to be repeated. And that's why I spin through it pretty quick. I got turned around. I ended up going up a different mountain. I ended up wondering, how come I was screwed up that day? I ended up finding a whole bunch of facts that were making me realize I'm not near the same area, but I can tell they've been here. And spend a couple of hours there, come out of there with an eagle skull, baby eagle skull about this big, and that's a whole different story. And I go home, punch up Google Earth. Where the heck was I? I end up realizing, go on Google Earth, you'll see these rivers coming down. You'll see a dam system like this, big dam, another dam like that, another big dam here and stuff. Not big like, whatever, President Dam, stuff like that. But it's a dam system, and it's called the Stave Lake Dam System. And this habitat that I just found was on this side, on the east side of that system. And the one that the last 21 days that I gotta shut my window. The last 21 days that I've been visiting is on the other side. I'm a pretty common sense guy. I know how much work it takes to do things. I see how destructive these guys are. I see how fast of speed they're using already in these one day. I never seen any footprint that told me that somebody was running. Have you ever thought about even a thought of that when you're out on the field? That, hey, I'm not seeing any running footprints. Well, guess what? I've gone through a whole bunch of different styles in this, and that is all that's helping this story that I'm telling you right now, that is hopefully enlightening you enough to realize it's true. Stick around, figure out more of my story, go back on my story, and just pick what you think. I think you can do this date thing or whatever. So you go back about 1.5 years from now. I'm not exactly sure how many months back. I would say, I think when what I basically did was somewhere, I'm going to just pull out September, somewhere around there is where I was living in a house and I did my 21-day thing. Then I started to go all Upper Valley and stuff and see a lot of stuff, and that's when I decided to keep doing this. Then the house I was living in, the deal I had there, I only had 8 days notice to move out. So 7 days actually. I always called it 8, but it was more 7. So the decision I made, instead of a whole bunch of heavy stuff, of thinking about stuff, I just thought I'm going to get rid of all my stuff and I'm just going to take this tour on the road. All I had was my awesome black Dodge that I still have. So if you guys I'm just doing some water cleanup here. If you've ever seen my awesome black Dodge in the videos, I still have that old baby, but she needs to be rebuilt. And that's one of my fun rewards that I want to do, is rebuild my Dodge someday. Not like a expensive rebuild. Just it's a cool truck. I just want to keep it cool like that. And yeah, so that's part of where I'm at. Thanks for hanging around. And what time is it? What time do we got? I gotta go pick up. I'm past my. It's alright. It's just picking up my son though. I gotta go pick up my son. Anybody have the time there? I gotta go pick up my son. I know I'm past the time because I'm beyond an hour. Gotta go pick up my son and go up to my sister's for a turkey dinner. Thanks a lot, everybody that's hanging out and appreciates this, and for all those thumbs up and all that kind of stuff and connecting and stuff like that. And good. Hey, Brown Dwarf, great recognition. I heard you being called out over there on Colorado Bigfoot and stuff, so you're catching some cool eyes. I think you know that guy well and how awesome of a reputation he's got anyways. So yeah, everybody else, just keep building, keep doing what you're doing. tell it as hard as you think it needs to be told. I think it needs to be told this hard. I think there's more going on than most of our trained eyes are even realizing that going on. And we're the group of trained guys. And another thing I say is, I do not believe yet that the government is involved or has information towards this. If I seen certain literature, certain video stuff and stuff like that, that would bring me closer or whatever. But I haven't seen anything that makes me feel like they have. And the reason why is because there's nothing out there that talks about my style of evolution of plants, about this suckerism almost takeover of plants and stuff. Buddy that I knew yesterday, that we didn't get, my old buddy there, we didn't get into it much. But that was one of the things I said to him. I said something, and he goes, you know about that kind of stuff? And I said, yeah, I've known about that stuff my whole life. And he goes, your dad taught you that kind of stuff? And I said, my dad taught me a lot of stuff, man. And, but the thing is, he knew it was a thing. He knew that it is a deal. But, because he comes from a farming background, so obviously in his farming background, his dad and stuff, and wherever, whatever, and however, how many times he dealt, because he was in that background. So maybe he has said 100 times over, cut off the sucker branches, I'm telling you. Whatever type thing. Who really knows? We didn't get into it. But the point is, it kicked him. It buzzed him when he was impressed that I knew about just that little bit of the system. And so be more impressed to understand that little system has transformed a lot of our trees. Our trees have been transformed into the sucker system where they weren't of maybe at one time where we'd say, oh, this one grew from a seed. And now that system is completely chewed out of it or something. I don't know. But that's what I'm letting people know is the sucker system. So if you think that's a deal, look into it, understand it better. Have a good one. See you guys. God bless you. Thank you. Same with you. I think you guys were probably in a good subject there. Peace out. I got to get going.